Hey guys, how are ya? Today I am clearing out my greenhouse. It is amazing how much stuff accumulated in here over the winter that I didn't even put in here. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm working a little slow today. I've had a lot of abdominal pain for like the past week since last weekend, so I don't know what it is. I will get checked if it's not gone by Monday, but I like to give things a week or so to settle down. I don't know, last weekend I ate like really bad because I wasn't here. So when we were up in Maine and driving back and forth, we didn't eat the best, and I don't know if I ate something bad or what, but it's just abdominal pain, stomach. That's it. There's no other symptoms, but it's to the point where it's like annoying me, and it's actually causing anxiety. And unfortunately, I have anxiety panic disorder, and stuff like that is what sets it off. So yay me! It's a gorgeous day today, and it's just gonna get warmer. It's nice and warm in here. The thermostat says it's like 85. I don't know if that's correct in here. It is definitely warmer in here than it is outside, but. So I'm gonna get this cleaned out, and I'm going to start seeds today. We're gonna start our cold weather crop seeds and a few others to get them going, but I can't do anything until this is cleared out. Everybody, I think they just kind of said, hey, let's throw everything in the greenhouse. Also, an update on the house in Maine. We did put the offer in and haven't heard a word. They have until 5 o'clock tonight, actually, to give us their answer, or the contract's no good anymore. So, as of yesterday, we found out that the seller's realtor hadn't even given them the contract yet. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is, guys. It's pretty shady, as far as I'm concerned. I never thought it would be this way to try to buy a property. It is just, unless you have hundreds of thousands of dollars to spend on a property right now, they want nothing to do with you. Alright, I'm gonna get started cleaning up here. I'm gonna have to move you guys like way over there because all this. It's good. I do have to clean all the stuff up out there, put that where it needs to go, but I gotta clean out the shed first. But I'm gonna plant some seeds first. Thanks, sweetheart.
Do I water it where it's in the bucket?
Yeah, you could just put some in the bucket and then stir it around.
I put some in here.
Yeah, you can use this to stir it around, honey. And then bring it back in when you're done. Alright. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the soil in the bucket and get that wet. Thank you, sweetie. Planting seeds now. So I'm gonna be planting like cold crop because we're not, even though it's technically spring right now, we're not in spring weather 100% right now. Today, beautiful day. But, you know, yesterday was freezing. So, it's still going to fluctuate quite a bit. But, again, having this greenhouse is a lifesaver because I can get this stuff planted early without having to put it all in my house. So I am, alright, I'm gonna plant, I'm looking at the backs of all my seeds here, and I'm gonna plant, so this is outdoor sowing, so this is like direct sow beans, and it says that not to do it till May. So this, I'm just paying attention to the back. You guys can see back here, it can tell you, or it will tell you, you just look on the map of your color, and we're in Massachusetts, so we're like this gray, blue, almost steel color. And it says for the green beans, it says plant May through July. So that'll wait, and it's direct sow. That's why I'm not doing it in here to pre-start it, because it's direct sow. But then, okay, so you have broccoli. This is different. So it says here that you can transplant it in July or August, which means you can start it and start the seeds first indoors. So if you're transplanting July, August, I mean, honestly, I plant these way sooner than that. So it says to start 8 weeks before planting outdoors. We're end of March. So we would end up transplanting these in like end of May, beginning of June. And I feel like that's what I did last year. I have to go back in my videos and check, but I feel like I did that last year. So I'm going to plant some of these. I'm going to see how it does. The same for cauliflower. And then, so we have carrots right here, outdoor sown. So this says to sow outside now, March. You can sow in March, June, and August through September. Like, carrots don't like the heat. I'm going to go ahead and direct sow these out there in one of the raised beds. So we'll put this aside. We have, what do we got? Cucumbers, a couple different kinds of cucumbers here. And these are outdoor sown May to July. So last year, because these say basically you direct sow these for the most part, there are a few last year that I did start and then transplanted them, and they did pretty well. Otherwise, it says to start in May, or outdoor sow, so basically direct sow in May. What I am going to do is plant all of these. So these are all cold weather crops. We got arugula and kale. We have some spinach, lettuce, different kinds of lettuce, muscovy mix, and Swiss chard. Kids are trying to catch a chicken that got out. So I am going to go ahead and plant all of this, because these will do great in the cold, in the cool weather. So lettuce seeds are very tiny. This one's a mesclun mix, so it's got like all kinds of different types of lettuce in it. But they're very small and they blow away real easy. So I mean, like I think most gardeners do that. You just sprinkle it in and then see what comes up. You can thin out if you want. I don't normally thin it out, and it usually yields me quite a bit. So right now I'm only doing two of these trays, or two of these 6-packs of each thing, to see how it goes. I don't want to use all my seeds and then, you know, have a really hard frost and everything die. So I'm just kind of seeing how it goes. I can always plant more next week. Alright, this is going in now. This is Swiss chard. These are much bigger, so it's a lot easier to plant these. And I usually will do like 6 of these to each individual thing here. And they all grow, and then I'll up pot them once they're big enough. I plant, you know, a lot more than one seed in each of these, because when they're seedlings, they don't need a ton of space. And then once they're big enough, you can just take them out and up pot them. And that just means putting them in a bigger pot. So that's what I do. So like with these, I'm putting 6 Swiss chard plants in each of these little things. So here's another one that they're little teeny seeds. They're just so tiny. See that little? This is kale. So they'll end up being a few extra in these than I, you know, put in there. They just fall in because they're so small, and you're kind of just like doing this. Try not to go crazy, but you know, try to sprinkle them in there. And kale is pretty forgiving. I've found that, you know, when you're doing this and you transplant them into the ground, they do pretty well. So we get a lot of customers, actually last year, that asked for kale a lot. So I'm planting extra because this is a cold weather crop, so even if we had like a really cold night, they'll still be fine. So I'm planting a few of these just to get that volume so that we can put it in the shop. Another thing I did last year, I hope you guys can hear me over this chainsaw. It's one of the neighbors doing something. One of the things we did last year was I grew seedlings and just sold the seedlings to people who are growing their own gardens. That worked out fairly well. Anything that didn't sell, I just put in the ground. So I read somewhere that you should plant seeds, onion seeds, or you should plant onions from seed, not starts. And I was curious about why, because I had heard it a couple of places. And it turns out, according to what I'm hearing, that when you get the starts, which is what I normally use, so I can attest to this, and you put them in the ground, those have already been grown and then they're sort of dormant. And then you put them back in the ground, so I guess something has to do with confusing the plant. So you end up getting these tiny little onions, which is what we got. So we got like the little, what are those? You know, those little, I can't remember the name. So they're just little onions. And they're not supposed to be little, they're supposed to be the big onions. So I had heard that if you start them from seed, it's from a seed. So you're not getting something that was grown and then, you know, put dormant for a while, and then the plant gets confused. That's what I heard. If I'm wrong, I'm sure somebody will tell me. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead this year and plant my onions from seed. And again, teeny little seeds. So I'm just gonna sprinkle. I'm not gonna go crazy, because there's not a lot of them in a pack. But I am gonna go ahead and try to sprinkle them. And a lot of people will go ahead and they'll plant this way and then thin them. So as they start to grow, they'll thin them out. And that thinning as in plucking out some of them that are sort of in the way or smaller or something. I don't tend to do that unless it's something that's like really just dead. I will actually just up pots. I don't like to waste anything. If I didn't have to kill the seedling and get rid of it, why would I do that? So if they all germinate and I start getting good seedlings, I will take those seedlings out and I will upplant them to their own space. This is probably something I could have started a little earlier, but with all of our running around, which seems to be in vain at this point, I just didn't have the time. But since today is such a nice day, I'm getting a start on it. So I am planting a lot of onions. I may do an entire tray, even having each one with multiple seeds in it. I think I'm going to do an entire tray because I use a lot of onions, guys. Onions and garlic are like staples in my cooking. I use a ton. So I think I have another packet of onions, I hope. Yep. So yeah, I mean, I use them, and I am so upset with myself that last year I completely spaced on planting my garlic. So I've been trying to figure out if I can plant it this year and still get a harvest this year. So I did ask a couple people, and apparently I can. So I'm gonna have to get that going too. Garlic and onions are staples in when I cook. I mean, I would say almost every day they're in there somewhere. So, and for me, it seems to be the hardest things to grow, which is frustrating. But now I think I know why. I was using the bulb starts for the onions, and that could be why I'm having such a hard time growing onions. Like bigger than like those little guys, you know, those little fancy ones that people use in their cooking. They keep them whole, which are good. I still use them. There's nothing wrong with them, but I want big onions. I want, you know, normal sized onions. Feels so nice to be out here. The greenhouse is like, oh, okay, I think it's back to normal. So it says it's about 75 in here. Perfect. That's perfect weather for me. I am not a hot weather person. Meaning my body can't handle it. And I think I've said that like a million times already. But right now in here is like absolutely perfect. You don't know how exciting this is, guys. Anybody else get like, you start planting your garden, the spring comes and it's like everything's new and it's like, oh my gosh, so exciting. All right, so I have an entire tray of onions. Yes, thank you. I'm really hoping this works because I buy so many onions. I would love to have my own homegrown onions. I mean, honestly, this probably isn't even enough for an entire year worth of onions. But I don't have any more seeds, so I may even get more seeds and plant more. All right, now I'm gonna go for peppers, bell peppers. I have been growing these every year. They've been doing okay. I wouldn't say fantastic, but they've been doing okay. So every year I try to improve what I'm doing. Last year probably was the best year. So, I mean, I'm doing something right because it's getting better every year. So these seeds are a little bit bigger, as you can see. So it's a little easier to control them. And I'll end up putting 6 of these again in each of these little rectangular things in the 6-pack. I don't even know what they're called. Each one of these things right here. All right, guys, I got a good amount planted. I ran out of soil, actually, or I would still be doing it. But there's some right there. I did end up planting some tomatoes because we are, again, at the end of March. So those will get transplanted into the ground like May, end of May. So that gives a good 8 weeks to germinate in here, which is perfect. So I'm just cleaning up now. We're gonna finish cleaning the yard. This has been like in the making for a couple of weeks now, but we've been so busy back and forth with Maine that it's kind of scattered to get everything done. All right, guys, my battery's about to die, so I'm done with this. I'm just cleaning up here, just gonna sweep this stuff off, and I hope you guys had fun planting with me today. I enjoyed it. I am gonna go get more. I have to get more soil, and I'm gonna get a few more seeds, and I'm gonna try to find that garlic because I'd like to get that in the ground as well. And then if tomorrow's nice, I'll be out front planting in the raised beds. Have a great day.